I'm delighted to have this brief opportunity to very strongly support the initiative in this motion of Deputy Boyd Barrett, Deputy Gino Kenny and Deputy Breed Smith, and bringing it in such a timely manner in front of this Dáil. As I mentioned to the Taoiseach, of course, last couple of weeks ago, according to the Department's own homelessness report, almost 6,000 adults, 3,700 children are homeless, and of these, of course, over 4,000 homeless adults and almost 3,000 homeless children were based in the 4 Dublin local authority areas, with up to 40,000, of course, Dublin households in all on housing waiting lists. And I made the point, of course, you might remember that the Dublin Bay North constituency is the worst affected in the country in terms of homelessness and long housing lists. And of course, people are pushed into homelessness by greedy landlords looking to cash in on the extortionate rents being charged in cities across the country, by greedy developers who are building homes to cater for landlords, and by a small minority of flush professional first-time buyers, but most of all, of course, by the government and its complete and utter inaction in grasping and addressing this crisis and putting the welfare of those 3,700 children ahead of the profit margins of landlords and developers. The government's over-reliance on the private market and landlords is clearly not working, but your Taoiseach, Minister, and the rest of your colleagues, you just simply don't seem to care. You seem to think that this affects such a small number of people, relatively speaking, that you can waltz through the general election without worrying too much about this. But indeed, as I was saying a couple of weeks ago to the Taoiseach, it's going to be, I think, a huge stumbling block to the re-election of yourself and many of your colleagues. So I don't know how many more times colleagues on these benches will implore the Minister to declare a housing emergency, use emergency powers to CPO and CLO vacant properties, to build in local authorities and where necessary private lands, and to reduce rents back down to affordable levels by imposing serious rent controls linked to the CSI, not the pathetic controls introduced by the last government and continued by this housing minister. It's indeed simple economics. We know developers and landowners are withholding supply to push up prices, as they've always have done, and we know that because of the lack of affordable rental properties, that many households are living in dangerous and overcrowded accommodation, and the rental market has become so competitive. There is little hope that for people on lower incomes or in receipt of state housing supports to acquire such properties. So I think we do need a major change of policy in this regard. I think the motion before us sets out a very well thought out roadmap how we could achieve a sustainable housing market. We were discussing it recently, or a few minutes ago, at the Budgetary Oversight Committee, and our ESRI delegation who are in front of us, they were saying, in fact, that there are exemplars in other European countries, but those exemplars, of course, have different land use policies, which we don't have and which we badly need. Thanks, Cairn.
Thank you very much.